Welcome to the Rock Fight, where we speak our truth, slay sacred cows, and sometimes agree to disagree. This is an outdoor podcast that aims for the head. I'm Colin, and today it's our third interview from this year's GOA Connect show in Kansas City. But before we get into any of that, here are some programming reminders. Are you ready to see the Rock Fight live? Catch me, Shantae Salabert, producer Dave, and Eoin Comerford at the running event on Wednesday, December 3rd. We're going to be doing a live taping of the Rock Fight in the training camp theater right by the switchback side of the show. We're going to be joined on stage by folks like TRE show director Christina Henderson, president of the OIA Kent Ebersol, and potentially one other special guest. We're going to confirm that right now, actually. And we're going to hear from Gear Abby. You'll, of course, get producer Dave and the rest of our crew's assessment of the booth situation at the show. If you were at Switchback Spring, you're going to know how much fun we will have. I hope to see you in San Antonio. And hey, if there's one other thing you can depend on in life, it's that Gear Abby doesn't take days off. This Thanksgiving Thursday, you're going to get an all-new episode of Gear Abby with host Shantae Salabert, who answers all of your burning outdoor questions. She's Gear Abby. And lastly, we do want to hear from you. Email us at myrockfight@gmail.com. Reach out on LinkedIn, where you can search us up. We're just Rockfight on LinkedIn. Or head to Instagram, where we are Rockfight Co. Send us a message. Let's get into today's episode. You know, the Rockfight crew and I have regular production meetings and kind of running email and text threads that we all respond to on a daily basis. We're constantly talking about what to feature on the show and questioning the right and wrong topics that we want to dig into every week. And in a year of so much uncertainty, thanks to tariffs and other forces outside the control of our brands and retailers, trail running has become one of the topics we talk about the most. And one that usually brings with it something positive or at least interesting to highlight, even if we feel like maybe we're talking about it a little too much. It's all we're talking about lately, but it's the news of what's happening right now. And the funny thing is about that is that trail running isn't new. I mean, go back and look at the footwear brands that got the most attention in the early 2000s. You'll find brands like Montrail and Innovate. You'd also see the original XA Pro from Salomon and an attempt by Vask back then to make trail runners. My first outdoor interaction with Timberland, a brand where I would eventually work, was when I was working at EMS in the late 90s and we sold their Mountain Athletic line. But it wouldn't be until the Born to Run era and rise of ultramarathons in the 2010 range that trail running would start to take on its more modern form. And there were plenty of brands to mention that helped this transition, but the most obvious ones are Hoka, Ultra, and also Topo Athletic. So Topo launched around the same time as those other brands, but while Ultra and Hoka quickly found their customer base, the outcome wasn't quite as certain for Topo. They built the reputation of great product over the ensuing decade by showing up at specialty retail and forming an identity based on their founder and namesake, Tony Post. Fast forward to today, and the Topo surge is happening. Topo routinely gets praised for the quality of its products and carries a cool factor that some of the other now big trail running brands used to have. But it gets hard to maintain that cool factor when you've attracted the everyday mall walking crowd. So I was interested in getting a chance to chat with Tony and find out what the journey has been like over the past decade and a half. And fortunately, he agreed to sit down with me, Eoin Comerford, and producer Dave at GOA Connect in Kansas City a couple of weeks back. And today, dear listeners, you get to hear that conversation, which is coming up next. So welcome back to the Rock Fight, where today we get an insider look at the booming trail running market with Topo Athletic founder, Tony Post. Fjallraven isn't here to conquer mountains, tame rivers, or beat the weather. We are here to go slowly, to tread carefully, and to cherish the visit. For us, the outdoor experience has never been a race to victory. It's an ongoing journey to create equipment and memories that last for generations to come. Our mission is to inspire more people to move with nature, and we do this by developing durable and functional equipment that never goes out of fashion. What we really want is to make it easier for people to enjoy spending time in nature on nature's terms. This is our passion. So let's use our vast experience and competence to help more people feel at home in nature, because when they do, they will take greater care of it. Get started on your Fjallraven journey by heading to fjallraven.com today. As the air cools and the trails beckon, Lems is ready to move with you. Lems has new shoes like the Trailblazer Mid, the mighty Trail Thrasher, and the insulated Breck boot. Get your Lems boots to get ready for the season ahead. And attention, outdoor retailers, are you going to be heading to the running event in Switchback? Well, then you can see all of the styles I just told you about, as well as check out Lems' new running shoes. Also, Lems recently expanded their wholesale sales team. Want to meet with your new local rep? We'll send an email to Colo, C-O-L-O, at lemsshoes.com. And just make sure you told them that the Rock Fight sent you. Lems, where less equals more. Rock fighters, we all know that the rock fight is the voice of the outdoor industry, and as such, I'd like to introduce a new brand just hitting the outdoor scene. Everyone meet Travoca. Travoca empowers outdoor enthusiasts and adventurers with elegantly rugged products that enhance every journey, from the backcountry to the backyard. With a lineup of gorgeously designed e-coolers, power stations, and camp kitchen products, Travoca crafts premium outdoor gear that empowers you to bring the amenities of home without compromising on style or performance. And hey, retailers, want to learn more about bringing Travoca into your shop? We'll find them at Travoca.com or message them on LinkedIn, which is at Travoca USA. All right, well, we're here today at GOA Connect with Tony Post, the CEO and founder of Topo Athletic. And Tony, we wanted to bring you in because I'm not sure if you've heard, but there's this new thing. It's all the rage. It's called trail running. It's happening. Do you know anything about it?
I know a little about trail running, I guess, yeah.
Is it kind of weird? I mean, you're 13 years into this Topo journey. I mean, like, how's it going? Especially when like running is kind of like having this incredible moment.
Yeah, it is fun. I love this show. I love the people who attend this show. I just have a passion for this space in the business. I grew up in Colorado, as a lot of people know, and I came to running kind of late in my, athletic career, I guess, in my late teens, and but ran in college and then ran after college for a bit. But my first real heavy exposure to trail running, since we're talking about trail running stories, was with the Leadville Trail 100. So I worked for a company and convinced them that we needed to sponsor the Leadville Trail 100 back in the early 1990s. And it was just so much fun and such a great education and learning experience. And at that time, not that many people were running 100-mile trail races. And so it was really kind of a crazy thing, people would say.
Totally. So are we 2 years now post DSW?
We are, yes. Post DBI, it'll be 3 years in December. That's right. And so I know when I sold, so we still own 20% of the company. But our business was growing really rapidly, and we needed more capital. So we needed to either go to private equity or to a strategic investor. We had a lot of interest from a lot of different people, but DBI, which is the parent company of DSW stores, said, even though we want to be the majority shareholder, we're going to let you control the company. So they structured the agreement in a way that allowed us to make all the strategic decisions in the company. Because, of course, the first one people said, oh, does this mean you're going to be in DSW stores?
Right, the media connecting those dots.
So, and a lot of our competitors sell in DSW stores, as you guys know, but we've not even sold a closeout. So we're really true to the original, strategy of the brand is to be more specialty focused. It hasn't been about making it as big as you can, as fast as you can, but trying to stay and build something authentic that can last a long time.
So you can't predict anything, but when you kind of look back over the 13 years, are you kind of where you think you would hope to be now? Is it, when you founded the brand?
I don't think I thought more than 2 or 3 years out. And in those early years, as you guys know, sometimes you're just worried about making sure you have money to make payroll so you don't lose your people and pay the rent. And so, you kind of live year to year in the beginning. It's nice to have a vision for where you want to end up. We had a sense of the values that we wanted to create for the brand and the types of products we wanted to make. But I think it got better and better. And for me, it's because the smartest thing I did was I chose really good people to work with. And so we brought on great people. And at the end of the day, that's what's going to make you succeed or, unfortunately, maybe not succeed. So I was very lucky in that way.
To those that haven't seen the results, sales have been just crazy this year. I mean, to the point where it sounds like you could have sold even more if you had more product.
Yeah, we've had a good few years. Excuse me. We grew, I think, 70% in 2024, 70.
Wow.
We're up about 52%, I think, this year. But you're right. If we would have had more product now, the biggest challenge this year, of course, were the tariffs.
Of course.
And when the tariffs got to be 145% coming out of China, of course,
that wasn't helpful?
No, that wasn't helpful. I mean, And we have great factories there. We have great factories in Vietnam too, but we had to move a lot of production from China to Vietnam. And so that was a challenge, and it was hard to keep up. But our team there did a phenomenal job. There's a lot to it, sourcing all the materials, moving molds, getting factories to, be approved and pass certain standards, going through the fit trial process. It can be really extensive. And the thing I didn't want is I didn't want anybody to feel like, Topos don't fit like they used to, or they're not as durable. So
Right.
you almost have to have higher standards when you make some kind of a transition like this. But I feel good about it. We're really well positioned now for the future.
That's great. And just so that our listeners have a sense of scale, what sort of 12-month run rate are you at right now from a volume perspective?
So we don't really usually talk about
Okay.
volume, but I would say that just to give you a sense of it, Topo sells over 1 million pair a year. So that could, kind of help you to understand
Sure.
a little bit. We sell also outside the U.S. So we sell in another, I think we're up to like 25 countries now outside the U.S. So, and that helps. And that's also helped us to stay, continue to manufacture in China too, because we didn't want to give it up completely. The goal is to remain nimble and to be able to make things that you can't tell or care where they came from. You're buying Topo. That's the main thing. So my expectation always is that it's got to fit, feel, work like a Topo, regardless of where it's made.
So, like we were saying at the beginning, trail running in general is kind of having this sort of, it's becoming like the it category of the moment right now. I mean, and you mentioned sort of the acceleration or the growth in terms of the amount of shoes you're selling, that you could sell more if you had more shoes. And what do you attribute that demand to? Like, what's happening in run?
Well, I think it's a couple different things. I do think that, it's interesting. I've seen kind of a resurgence in run among younger people. So for the last, and I wouldn't have said that maybe 5 years ago, so it's kind of more in the last few years, and it's become a social activity. And so we see a lot of that. I go to some of these trail run demo events that we'll do, or road run demo for that matter too, and sometimes there'll be a pub crawl or something afterward, and it's just really cool to see, more people in their, I'm not saying super young, but in their 20s, early 30s, all kind of getting involved in the sport. It's not just a bunch of old men like me anymore. I think it makes it more fun, more interesting for everybody.
So when you think about when you founded the brand, and you've had it famously coming off of your days at Vibram and the whole 5-finger boom, and then coming out of 2010s and the kind of the Born to Run thing and everything, it's kind of, it became like Hoka Ultra Topo, right?
Yeah.
Hoka kind of a little bit more traditional, really grew in the kind of within the running community. Ultra kind of almost built its brand on the back of thru hikers in a lot of ways, right? A lot of like that community kind of, maybe not from a volume standpoint, but from a reputation standpoint.
Yeah.
When you look at where Topo is and kind of like how you kind of cross over in those categories, I mean, what's more important to you right now? Is it run specialty? Is it outdoor specialty? Is it kind of a mix of both?
I think it's really a mix of both.
It's a safe answer, Tony.
It would be very, we have more road running distribution in the United States, but probably, I'm always going to be a little bit partial to the trail consumer. That's kind of been part of my background. Also, I would say in Europe and possibly in the Far East, we have a stronger trail business than we do a road business. So, the goal is always to keep it balanced and just to make great shoes, whether it's road, trail. In the beginning, when we started, we also made shoes for gym. We kind of put that on hold for a little while. Doesn't mean we won't go back to it or do it, but there was only so much we could handle.
Did you just announce that the split toe's coming back?
I didn't say that. I still have some emotional scarring from those days.
It was a cool idea.
Yeah, I loved it, and I actually really liked the shoes, but I think there are bigger fish for us to fry these days right now. But you never know. I mean, I still think a shoe like that has a purpose and a meaning.
So obviously you're doing very well in wholesale, run specialty, outdoor specialty. Where is direct sales? How do you see direct sales for your brand and where it fits within your strategic framework?
So that's one of the things I'm really proud of. And I think you guys interview a lot of different people, and I don't think there are too many people that can say this. But in the 12 years or just over 12 years that Topo has been in the marketplace, we have never once run a sale on our website. in 12 years to never
That's
run a
great.
sale. We're always full price. When our dealers are granted their off-map periods so that they can clear goods, we're full price. We do have discontinued merchandise on the website, but the website is there, for people who maybe they don't have a Topo dealer in their area. That was really the purpose in the beginning. And so it was never designed to compete with our wholesale partners. And I think our job is to tell a story, make sure we offer products, but it's not really considered a key source of revenue for the company.
I want to ask you about your color sophistication, because that seems to be something that has become, I'm not saying if it's an improvement, if it's just been an area of focus for you, but it seems like the colors of the shoes really seem like it's an important part of the brand.
It only took us 13 years, so I don't know what
Well, we speak about that, right? Because it's something where it's a nuanced thing, because you see some brands will think, oh, let's just throw colors at it. And it's like, whoa, I see your shoes, but I don't know if I really want to see your shoes. And the ones that kind of do it the right way, it's like it really speaks to the consumer.
Yeah, I would say that we've just gotten better and better at product in general. So that's always the goal, is to improve every season. And we have a really great team of people. The person who leads our product group now is Russ Stevens. He deserves a lot of credit here. Is he the
guy we refused to interview today?
Yes, that is right.
All right.
Yeah, he's over sobbing in the corner somewhere.
He came over with Tony, listeners. It's fine. We'll interview Russ some other time.
He's only 31, so you'll have many more days to be able to interview him.
Oh, he's a sensitive soul.
But in any event, I think, we do a lot of work with, and we have a very young team. So we have a lot of people in their 20s and 30s. We only have a few people, over 40 years old in the whole company. And I think, we encourage everybody to be really in touch with the market and what's going on, and to speak from the heart about things that they love. And all of that goes into the product, whether it's the types of platforms we build, the colors that we select, how we design product. I'm really proud of how we've evolved, I guess, as a company in that way.
So there's a couple more questions for me. So one, when you look at those more established competitors, the Ultras and the Hokas, who are you impressed by? Who's done the best job of those ones you came up with?
Yeah, they're all. It's so amazing to see, because I think going back to my Vibram days, I remember when Hoka was this little, 2-person, 10 by 10 booth at Outdoor Retailer, and talking to those guys, and then me kind of half jokingly saying to the owners of Vibram, be kind of cool, since we have Vibram, if we acquired Hoka, and then we'd have the two extremes. Of course, Vibram didn't want to, acquire a footwear brand because they didn't want to compete with their sole business customers, which I really respected.
Sure.
I mean, they're all really terrific competitors, but I do tip my hat to Hoka, because I think they've really built something that I think has a lasting place in the market. And but that doesn't mean. I think what we bring is different. We don't ever try to go head to head with any one specific thing. We try to stay authentic and true to who we are. I think people come to Topo because they love the fit sensation first. Then they might have, some people want something with a little less platform, some people want something with a little more. We give them choices after that. And so, we have to stay in our lane and just keep doing what we do really well.
A few weeks ago, we did a kind of deep dive of 3 up-and-coming brands, and we looked at it because Dave has a brand background, Eoin has a retail background, and I had a chance to try these shoes. So we talked about Speedland, Norda, and Mount to Coast. So of these sort of up-and-comers, and not just those 3, but all of the up-and-comers, of which there are many right now, who has your attention? I
mean, they're all, again, I know this sounds like a safe answer.
Got to pick one, Tony.
I know.
Got to pick one.
Okay, if I have to pick one, I'll pick one. I mean, I think I'll take them in stages. When I first tried the Speedland shoes a few years ago, I thought, these are really phenomenal shoes. I handed to those guys, and being fearless, because I don't remember what the first shoes cost, but they were,
they are not cheap.
3 times as expensive as anybody else. But they executed, and they did a great job. And then Norda, I think they've done also a really cool job. I love their attention to durability and, using premium ingredients. That's something we really take to heart too. I think we're one of the only companies out there that's 100% Vibram on our trail shoes. So we always admire when people use quality ingredients like that. And Mountain Coast is definitely a company that's coming up and building a following.
Out of nowhere, seemingly, right? A year ago, just all of a sudden they're here.
Yeah. But I think that's, it's hard to enter this business. I mean, even though all of these companies seem to come in and have come up, it's a really difficult entry. It's expensive, to open the tooling and the equipment to do all of this, to build a business, to build inventory, to service. All of these things are costly. So I admire all these guys. It's hard to be an entrepreneur in this space.
Yeah, I feel like, though, we are sort of at this golden age of trail running. On that episode, I actually talked about how it feels like snowboarding did back in the I guess it was at the 90s, the late 80s, early 90s, where there were so many snowboard brands, right? And then over time, Burton snapped up a few, and a few others, went away, and now we're kind of back down to maybe a smaller set of players. Why do you think 10 years from now, Topo is going to be one of those 3 or 4 major brands that is still at the core of the industry?
Well, I think the most important thing that we can do is to pay attention to the needs of our customers. If we don't make products that deliver a better experience, Topo won't be around. So it's always about, it doesn't matter what your price point is, or, all of those things. Of course, they matter in some ways, but at the end of the day, it's about, do you make a product that delivers a better experience? Can you make improvements in this category that people appreciate and want to pay for? And that's a value that we have to keep. And if we keep that value, Topo will be around and successful for a long time. It's an exciting industry. You have to have people that have a passion for the space. It's hard if you don't have a passion to succeed in this business. So you really have to have a love for it. You have to have a love for running and the sport, but also an appreciation for people who are walking, hiking, people who are just trying to stay fit and healthy. As I age, I realize how important these things are. I feel lucky to have spent a lifetime in this space because I think just personally it's helped me to live better. And if we can do that, if we can deliver a better experience, a better life for people, we'll thrive and succeed, I'm sure.
So last question, what's something about Topo that most people don't know?
Well, that's a good question. I'm always amazed when people say, I say Topo was a nickname I had in college, and they say, oh, Topo, that's you. So I went to a reunion. I guess I can say this. I went to my 50th high school reunion.
Right on.
And I was talking to the husband of a woman that I knew in high school, and I was saying I was in the shoe industry or in the shoe business, and he's like, oh, man, I just found this. And he went on to tell me this whole thing about Topo. And I just kind of let him run on for a little bit,
Yes.
And it was so fun to be able to do it. And then, of course, eventually I had to tell him, and they were really happy. But
I guess it would have been a little weird if you put like a picture of your face on every shoe, like it's me,
Yeah, no, it was. So that's a fun little story, anyway.
Well, Tony, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us, and I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate what you do too. Really enjoy your interviews. I think you bring a lot of value to the industry, and I think you keep it entertaining, which is so. That's what makes it easy to listen to often. So well done.
Appreciate that. Thanks, Tony.
It's time for the party shop.
All right, it's time for the parting shot presented by Garage Grown Gear. Make sure to head over to garagegrowngear.com and check out everything that is new over there. Just click when you get there. There's a little like navigation bar, and you'll see a little flaming new button. Check that out. I think they add things like seemingly every day. Check it out. There's always so much cool stuff over on garagegrowngear.com, and we love their partnership here on the Rock Fight. Thank you to Lloyd and Maggie and everybody else over there. Parting shot today. Quick parting shot. Maybe not so quick. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. But it's for Hoka. All right, because I've been testing a ton of trail running and gravel shoes lately. And most of the models I've tried that have had that maximal style midsole that Hoka has popularized, it just makes for a plodding, not fun experience. Now, when I was back at Timberland back in 2006, we launched Go Light Footwear, which was a trail running specific line of shoes that had various technologies that eventually would become mainstream. So like if you think that Ultra and Topo were the first trail running brands to deploy a foot-shaped toe box, you'd be wrong. We did that with Go Light 4 years before those other brands existed. One other technology that Go Light used was what we called soft against the ground technology. In short, this was Hoka before Hoka. The idea is to lessen impact and smooth out the trail in front of you through midsole and outsole tech, and has definitely since been refined, most notably by Hoka. In my experience trying Hoka, I think they nailed that sort of maximal experience. But aside from the Mount to Coast H1s, any other model I've tried recently anyway, that deploys a soft, thick midsole, well, it feels like it's just sapping the energy from my body as I'm hiking or running in them. Now, I don't know what the secret sauce is to having a snappy, energetic, and thick midsole, but it seems like a lot of brands, when they're designing these shoes, just think that they can win over consumers with a cushy midsole that gets the win based on out-of-the-box comfort and not through legit performance. And I understand that. If you're sitting in a store and you're putting it on, and there's an immediate, ooh, cushy feeling. But when you go out in them, it just feels like you're wearing sponges on your feet. So even though they probably still do it the best, my parting shot is for Hoka because, God damn it, Hoka, you popularized this whole thing. And while I'd like to throw a rock at Go Light Footwear for pioneering the idea, they've been dead since 2008. So Hoka, you get this rock. Actually, maybe I should take that back because you're doing it the best. I don't know. Bottom line is all of these other people who are trying to mimic what Hoka does, a lot of you aren't pulling it off, and that's my parting shot. All right, that's the show for today. Big thanks to my guest, Tony Post. Thank you, Tony, for sitting down with us. The Rock Fight's a production of Rock Fight LLC. I'm Colin True. This episode was produced by producer Dave. Thanks for listening, and here to take us out like he always is Krista Makes with the Rock Fight fight song. We'll see you next time, Rock Fighters.
Rock